This story is called Trey's Ride. I was thinking, here we go again, signing up for the impossible. I knew biking included balance, steering, braking, and a sense of danger. And in my mind, I'd already seen a deep wound, a broken leg, a broken arm, or something else, an emergency room visit, and therapy that followed. So you understand what I'm talking about. My wife had just said,
I just signed up for iCan Bike for Trey.
well, if you want to not listen to the rest of the story, I'll admit I was wrong. Trey's 18, has autism, and is nonverbal. So the first day of iCan Bike, we show up at George Mason University. They put him on a contraption that looks like a stationary bike, and he rides around the inside track with 3 volunteers. And these volunteers tell me about halfway through that he's got it. And I'm thinking to myself, oh, you can't be right. So we go through the first day and we move on to the second day. More of the same on this bike that I call a contraption. With the back roller, they continue to change out and it's tapered so Trey gets some sense of balance. Also, on the second day, they put him on a tandem bike with the guy on the back can control and steer to keep Trey from crashing. This is the first sense that Trey would have of what biking would be like. On the third day, more of the same, of the contraption of training and him obtaining a sense of balance. And they also put him on a normal 2-wheel bike with just a handle on the back and volunteers running alongside. On the fourth day, he rides on the bike, the 2-wheel bike, unassisted, with a volunteer just kind of hovering his hand over the handle. And eventually that day, he rides on the quarter mile or the eighth of a mile track inside by himself. And then on the fifth day, absolutely incredible. He's on the outside track, quarter mile track by himself on a normal two-wheel bike. So that's kind of the story on how it happened. So I'd like to say first to the volunteers, you guys are heroes. To iCan Bike, it's really great that you figured out a way to incrementally teach someone that tried different ways, and this was the only way that Trey learned. And lastly, to my wife, I was wrong. The rest of the story, though, is that Trey went on to practice on several weekends and went on an 8.3 mile bike to the beach with no problems. So what did this mean to Trey? Was there any change in Trey? Probably he gained some confidence. But what it probably really did most was open my eyes and my wife's eyes that he was capable of doing more than we allowed him to do. Or we took the position of assuming that he couldn't do something. So from that, we took away that there were probably things in the past that we just assumed he couldn't do that he could. So I encourage all the folks out there to try iCan Bike. You won't be sorry.